Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most celebrated novels in English literature, Charles Dickens' masterpiece, A Tale of Two Cities. This is the first part of our series, where we'll explore Book 1, titled Recalled to Life. Published in 1859, this historical novel takes us back to a time of revolution, sacrifice, and redemption. Set against the backdrop of the French Revolution, Dickens weaves a story that explores the darkest and brightest aspects of human nature. So grab your tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's journey back to 1775, where our story begins. It is the year 1775, a time of unrest, a time of whispers, a time when the world stands on the edge of a storm that has not yet begun. London and Paris, two cities separated by distance, yet bound by fate. This is A Tale of Two Cities. Our story opens with one of the most famous lines in literature. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. This iconic opening immediately sets the tone. Dickens is describing 1775, a period of stark contrasts and contradictions. In England and France, wealth and poverty existed side by side. Kings ruled with absolute power, while common people starved in the streets. In France, the aristocracy lived in unimaginable luxury, while peasants struggled to survive. The gap between rich and poor was so vast that revolution was becoming inevitable. In England, crime was rampant. Thieves roamed freely, and even the mail coaches traveling between cities faced constant danger from highway robbers. Dickens compares this era to his own time in the 1850s, suggesting that humanity tends to repeat its mistakes. The opening chapter doesn't introduce characters yet. Instead, it paints a vivid picture of a world on the brink of massive change. It's a world where hope and despair walk hand in hand. This powerful introduction establishes the dual nature of the story. Two cities, London and Paris, two nations, and eventually, two men who look identical but lead very different lives. Now we move to a specific moment. A cold, foggy Friday night in November 1775. A mail coach is struggling up Shooter's Hill on its journey from London to Dover. The weather is terrible. Thick mist covers everything and the horses are exhausted. The atmosphere is tense. Because of the dangerous times, passengers are suspicious of everyone. The driver, the guard, even each other. Robberies are so common that travelers walk alongside the coach rather than ride inside, ready to flee if bandits attack. Among the passengers is Mr. Jarvis Lorry, a gentleman in his 60s who works for Tellson's Bank. He's on official business. Suddenly, a messenger on horseback appears out of the mist. It's Jerry Cruncher, an odd jobs man for Tellson's Bank. He's been riding hard to deliver an urgent message to Mr. Lorry. The message is simple: wait at Dover for Mamselle. Mr. Lorry's response is equally cryptic: recalled to life. Jerry Cruncher finds this message very strange, but he agrees to deliver it back to the bank. What could recalled to life possibly mean? This mysterious phrase becomes the central motif of the entire book. Mr. Lorry continues his journey, and as the coach rumbles through the darkness, he falls into a restless sleep. Dickens explores the mysteries within each human mind. He reflects on how every person is a secret world, unknowable to others. Even the three strangers sharing this coach are complete mysteries to one another. As Mr. Lorry dozes, he dreams. His mind drifts between thoughts of the bank and a more haunting image, digging someone out of a grave. In his dream, he has a repetitive conversation with a ghostly figure who has been buried alive for 18 years. The ghost tells him, "I have been buried, but now I am recalled to life." Mr. Lorry asks, "Do you care to live?" Sometimes the ghost wants to live. Sometimes he's terrified of returning to life. The dream keeps repeating, growing more disturbing each time. This chapter reveals that Mr. Lorry's journey isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional. He's about to reunite someone with life after years of living death. The someone buried for 18 years is clearly not actually dead, but imprisoned. But who and why? The chapter ends as morning breaks and the coach continues toward Dover. The mail coach arrives at Dover at dawn. Mr. Lorry goes to the Royal George Hotel, where he cleans up and transforms from a dusty traveler into a well-dressed businessman of 60, neat, methodical, and professional. That afternoon, a young lady arrives. This is Miss Lucie Manette, 17 years old, with beautiful golden hair and a gentle, compassionate nature. She's been summoned from London by Tellson's Bank. Mr. Lorry is careful and formal as he speaks with her. He begins by explaining that he knew her father, Dr. Alexandre Manette, who was a client of Tellson's Bank. Lucie has always believed her father died when she was just 2 years old. But Mr. Lorry has shocking news. Her father is alive. Lucie is stunned. Mr. Lorry explains that Dr. Manette was imprisoned in the Bastille, the notorious French prison, for 18 years under a lettre de cachet, a royal decree that allowed imprisonment without trial. He was held under a false name, which is why everyone thought he was dead. Recently, Dr. Manette was released and is now staying in Paris with a former servant. Mr. Lorry must go to Paris to identify him and bring him back to England. And Lucie must come too, to help restore her father to life, to restore him to love, comfort, and duty. The shock is too much. Lucie faints. Immediately, a wild-looking red-haired woman bursts into the room. Miss Pross, Lucie's devoted governess and companion. She's fiercely protective of her heel Ladybird, her nickname for Lucie, and tends to her with fierce maternal care. Miss Pross has raised Lucie since she was 10 years old and loves her like a daughter. She's strong, loyal, and devoted, qualities that will become crucial later in the story. The chapter ends with preparations for the journey to Paris. Lucie must now face the father she never knew, a man who has been broken by nearly 2 decades of imprisonment. The scene shifts dramatically to Paris, specifically to the Faubourg Saint-Antoine, one of the poorest and most desperate neighborhoods in the city. Here, poverty is everywhere. Children have the faces of old people. Hunger is written on every face. The only shops that gleam are those selling weapons, knives and guns waiting for the day they'll be used. Suddenly, a large cask of wine falls and breaks in the street. Red wine spills across the rough stones, pooling in the cracks and hollows. Immediately, everyone drops what they're doing and rushes to collect the wine before it disappears into the ground. People kneel and try to drink from their hands. Others bring cups, cloths, even their children's mouths to catch the precious liquid. For a brief moment, there's laughter in this street of misery. Then, one tall man dips his finger in the muddy, wine-stained puddle and writes on a wall, "Blood." It's an ominous prophecy. One day, these streets will run red with blood instead of wine. The wine came from the shop of Monsieur Defarge, a bull-necked, strong man of about 30. Inside the shop, his wife, Madame Defarge, sits behind the counter. She's a stout woman with a watchful eye, strong features, and great composure. She's constantly knitting, her needles clicking steadily. Inside the shop, there are customers playing games and drinking. 3 men are present and they all call each other Jacques, a code name used by revolutionaries. These are not ordinary wine shop customers, they're plotting something. Mr. Lorry and Lucie Manette arrive and sit quietly in a corner. Madame Defarge signals to her husband with a slight movement of her head. He pretends not to notice the strangers at first, talking with his Jacques companions. Eventually, Mr. Lorry approaches Monsieur Defarge and they have a brief, whispered conversation. Defarge agrees to take them to see Dr. Manette. Defarge leads them up a dark, steep staircase, filthy and dangerous. On the landing, they find the 3 Jacques peering through cracks in the wall, trying to see inside a room. Defarge explains that he shows Dr. Manette to select people, revolutionaries who need to see what the aristocracy has done to an innocent man. The doctor has become a symbol of aristocratic cruelty, a living example of why the people must rise up. This chapter ends at the threshold. Defarge is about to open the door to Dr. Manette's room. The wine shop scene establishes a crucial parallel story. While we follow the personal journey of the Manettes, revolution is brewing in the streets of Paris. The Defarges will become central figures in that revolution, particularly Madame Defarge with her sinister knitting. Defarge opens the door and they enter a small, dark garret room with one barred window. In the dim light, they see a white-haired man hunched over a workbench, completely absorbed in making a shoe. This is Dr. Alexandre Manette. He's barely recognizable as a human being, let alone a once respected doctor. His face is gaunt and hollow. His white hair is wild and unkempt. He has a ragged white beard. His voice, when he speaks, is barely a whisper, the voice of someone who hasn't had a conversation in years. Defarge greets him gently, and Dr. Manette responds, but he doesn't look up from his work. He seems more interested in the shoe he's making than in the visitors. He speaks only when spoken to, in a faint, ghost-like voice. Mr. Lorry steps forward and tries to engage him in conversation. He asks about the shoe, trying to reach some spark of recognition in the old man. Monsieur, Defarge asks, "What is your name?" Dr. Manette replies, 105 North Tower. This is heartbreaking. He doesn't even remember his own name, only his prisoner number and the location of his cell in the Bastille. 18 years of solitary confinement have reduced his identity to a number. Mr. Lorry asks if he's always been a shoemaker. Dr. Manette explains that he learned to make shoes in prison. It was a way to keep his mind occupied, to prevent himself from going completely mad. But even after his release, he can't stop. Shoemaking has become his only reality, his only identity. Mr. Lorry tries mentioning the bank, asking if Dr. Manette remembers anything about a banker from long ago. There's a flicker, just a moment, of recognition, but it fades quickly. Then Lucie steps forward. She approaches slowly, tears streaming down her face. Her father looks up briefly, confused. "Who are you?" he whispers. Lucie doesn't answer directly. Instead, she gently sits beside him and places her hand on his arm. At first, he recoils. He's not used to human touch, but then he stops working and looks at her more carefully. He reaches around his neck and pulls out a black string. Attached to it is a small scrap of cloth, and inside are 1 or 2 long golden hairs. These belong to his wife, Lucie's mother. The night Dr. Manette was arrested, his wife had rested her head on his shoulder. She had a strange fear that something bad would happen. When he was thrown into the Bastille, he found these golden hairs on his clothing. They were all he had of his family for 18 years. Now looking at Lucie's golden hair, he makes the connection. He compares the old hairs to her hair. They're the same. He's overwhelmed, confused. How can this be? This can't be his little baby daughter. She was only 2 years old when he was arrested. "Are you Lucie?" he asks, his voice breaking. "Yes, I am your daughter," she answers gently. Dr. Manette begins to sob. Lucie cradles his head against her chest, like a mother comforting a child. It's a moment of role reversal. The daughter becoming the parent, the father becoming the child who needs care and protection. She promises him that his suffering is over. They will leave France together. She will take care of him. He will have a new life in England, a life of safety, love, and peace. Mr. Lorry and Defarge quickly arrange for their departure. They bring food, clothing, and transportation. Before they leave, Dr. Manette makes one request. He wants to bring his shoemaking tools and the unfinished shoes. It's a sad reminder that his trauma is still very much alive. Even though he's being recalled to life, the past still has a powerful hold on him. The tools represent both his survival mechanism and his psychological prison. Madame Defarge fetches his tools, and they all get into the carriage. As they leave for London, Mr. Lorry once again hears in his mind that strange question, "I hope you care to be recalled to life." And Dr. Manette's uncertain answer, "I can't say." This powerful ending leaves us with questions. Can Dr. Manette truly recover from 18 years of imprisonment? Will love and care be enough to heal his broken mind? And what secrets does he carry from his time in the Bastille? Book 1 is just the beginning. We've laid the foundation for an epic tale of revolution, love, sacrifice, and redemption. In Book 2, titled The Golden Thread, we'll move forward 5 years to London, where new characters will emerge and old secrets will begin to surface. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Book 1 of A Tale of Two Cities, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more literary analysis. In the comments below, let me know. What do you think happened to Dr. Manette in prison? Why was he imprisoned for 18 years? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we explore Book 2.